Did you know that the federal government has goals to contract with small businesses? Actually, it's estimated that between 2010 and 2014, the laboratory at Brookhaven National Lab will generate, on average, an annual basis of $947 million in economic output and 7,092 jobs throughout New York State. And that's on top of how they contract with small businesses. My guest today is Jill Clough Johnston. She is the Small Business Liaison at Brookhaven National Lab. And she's going to lead us through the steps that small businesses need to keep in mind if they want to contract with the federal government. It doesn't only have to be Brookhaven Labs, but let's start there. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Christine. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, sure, Jill. You've helped so many small businesses on Long Island. So what is the first thing a small business should keep in mind?
First thing I would say would be do your homework. Do your homework, and then do your homework.
Wow.
They have to identify if they are a small business, and you can do that through their NAICS code, which is the North American Industrial Classification Code, and the appropriate size standard for that code. Every industry in the United States has a NAICS code. It's a book like about this thick of codes. And that will tell you if you're a small business, either by the number of employees, is either 100 or 500, depending on your code, or the dollar values in revenue. Once you decide you are a small business, then you pick a category that you might fall into, and there are 6 of those. Small business, woman-owned, small disadvantaged business, hub zone, which is historically underutilized business, and that's determined by the U.S. Census, a veteran-owned business, or a service-disabled veteran-owned business.
So just to let my viewers know, Jill is going to run through a series of technical procedures. Now, it'll be your job after this show to email Jill or to look on the onyourwatch.com website. And there you will find this tip sheet. And that tip sheet will let you know exactly the steps that you need to know and the websites that you need to go to, as well as who will help you. So you'll notice Jill's email address on her title as we speak. Okay, so why was this created? I mean, why does the government want to do business with a small business as opposed to a large one?
Well, the small businesses are the engine that drives the country. That's been stated by many politicians, and it's a true statement. In order to level the playing field with a large business, that's why the small businesses are sometimes given set-asides, or they have goals, as we stated before, for small business. And that's not just at Brookhaven National Lab, that's every federal agency and federal prime contractor. Mm-hmm. The whole reason for it is, or the reason for my department, the Small Business Program, is federal law states that any contract that is given to a subcontractor, and if it's over $650,000 or $1.5 million for construction, that company that won that award has to submit to the agency or the prime contractor what's called a subcontracting plan. In that plan, they have to state how many small, minority, women-owned, veteran, hub zone, and service-disabled veterans they're going to use in the performance of that contract.
So if I am a disabled veteran, mm-hmm. and I am competing against, let's say, a pretty big company in order to become a contractor for the federal government, I would think that the federal government would go with the gigantic company. Is that true?
Not always, no. Let's just assume that everything was equal. Price, delivery, quality was all equal. And the buyer would probably make the award to the service-disabled veteran.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so that's.
But that's when everything is equal.
Okay, and
Okay.
that's in their advantage then?
Yes.
Okay, so what else should we keep in mind?
Well, you should register in a lot of the databases. Register in the Central Contractor Register, or CCR, which is now, now changing to another system that's supposed to consolidate everything in the federal government. And it's called SAM. It's the System for Award Management. And I'm not sure when that is going to go online exactly. You should also register for FedBiz Ops, which is where federal agencies and prime contractors in the federal government, where they post any requirements that are over $25,000. So as the old saying goes, you've got to be in it to win it. You should also get a hold of, and there's a website for it on the paper, for the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization, OSDBU, is the nickname. There's one for every federal agency. They are your entry point and your gateway, and they're there to assist you for getting business from that agency or prime contractor, just like I do for Brookhaven National Lab.
What should people keep on their materials that they submit? If I were wanting to be a contractor
Right.
for the federal government, what should I put on my materials, my marketing materials?
That's a good question. Well, once you identify that you are a small business, and you've identified the type of small business that you are, I recommend that you make up 2 sets of marketing material. Capability statement, and keep it to 1 page.
What does that mean?
That's a page that shows everything that you do, all your contact information, the type of business you are. It's like a synopsis or a quick summary, but keep it to 1 page. Your capability statement, your business card, and your letterhead. Those are your cheapest forms of advertising. So make up 2 sets. 1 set for government that has that you're a small, woman-owned, veteran-owned business, and make up another one for commercial that does not have it, because you don't want them to really know that you're a small business. Let them assume that you're not. But on the government card, you want government buyers to know that you're a small business. For the example that I gave you before of the competition with the big business, it gives you a little leg up.
Okay, great. And you mentioned that there are other resources people can go to for help.
Yes. 2 of the best resources on Long Island, and these are national programs too, they are in every other state also. Through the SBA, SBA is Small Business Administration. There's an SBDC, a Small Business Development Center. And they have one on Long Island in Stony Brook and in Farmingdale. Stony Brook has a satellite office right here in Southampton, so it makes it very convenient.
Wow.
And the website is on there also. There's also a Procurement Technical Assistance Program, or PTAP. What they do is they help you with bids, and federal bidding is a little different than commercial bidding. They help you with bids. They have a database that you put your keywords in, and that will automatically send you bids, and it's either free or low cost.
So this is, I don't even have to track it, it comes right to my email.
Right into your computer.
Great.
They're in Long Island City at LaGuardia College.
Okay.
Yes, and there's also the Middle Country Public Library. They can help you with market research. They have an excellent, award-winning business department.
So how do you know what the lab is looking for, or what the federal government is looking for that matter, so that you know what you can pitch, that you can offer?
Okay, that's why you got to do your homework. Figure out, and I would start with the OSDBU, the Office of Small Disadvantaged Business lists. Go through that, pick out which agencies you would like to work for. Contact that office, find out who their prime contractors are, get in touch with the SBLO or Small Business Liaison Officer at that prime contractor or that government agency. Find out what they knew. Find out what they need by researching it on their website. Find out what they do. I have a lot of times small businesses contact me saying, I'd like to sell this widget to you. And I said, well, did you do your due diligence and your homework? And they didn't, because they don't realize the Brookhaven Lab, although we are a small town of Upton, New York, and we buy everything a small town does, we don't manufacture anything. So we're not going to buy that widget because we're not going to use it. We may buy a prototype for a science experiment or something, but not the manufacturing.
You mentioned something about Upton once. What would the lab need? Would it be, you said it's almost like a town.
It is. We have our own fire department, we have our own police, we have our own medical department, we have our own tennis courts.
Wow. Are you saying that I might get a government contract to supply tennis balls to the tennis courts?
Could be.
Really?
Except I think that employees have to bring their own. Because everything that we buy and money that we spend is taxpayer dollars.
Okay.
So we're very frugal with how we spend a lot of times.
So anything other than tennis balls maybe
Yes.
that a small town needs
Right.
is something that you might buy.
Yes.
How do I know if you have it already?
Excuse me, do your research. Our small business page tells you the type of things that we don't buy or we don't need, because we have quite a few small businesses that we're happy with that already supply that product.
Okay.
I get a lot of small businesses contacting me, and what they want to sell us is IT services. Well, if they did their research, they would realize that we have an extremely large IT department, and we have one of the world's fastest computers right there at Brookhaven Lab.
So you don't need that?
No.
Okay.
We don't subcontract because we have our own individual departments.
This is Jill Clough Johnston, Small Business Liaison. So if I wanted to say, help, Miss Small Business Liaison, what would I do? Would I make an appointment with you?
You could. I prefer email as a method of contact. Email me at the email that's on the screen, I guess. And we could set up an appointment after discussing whether you can sell us something that we're looking for. If not, I will refer you to other agencies that can help you.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you, Jill, very, very much.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming. I also wanted to let you know that I put out a call on the Twitter hashtag #OnYourWatch, as well as the website On Your Watch, looking for anybody who would like to tweet their job listings or list them on the site. So check out On Your Watch for a bunch of open listings.
The New York State Department of Labor, go to their website and they list jobs in Nassau and Suffolk.
Fantastic. Thanks again.
Okay, thank you, Christine.